requested that all visitors remain behind the chains and rails at all times.
Remain behind the chains and rails at all times. If you hear this, then you have broken the golden rules of a ceremonial sentinel guarding the tomb of the unknown soldier. Get back before you get yelled at again, or even worse. Why is the tomb of the unknown soldier guarded so heavily? On November 11th, 1921, an unidentified soldier's body was returned from war, and such an incident is not uncommon as it was the peak of World War I. Unfortunately, those were the times when there was no DNA profiling, nor were there any methods to match the identification with the list of missing soldiers. Hence, the U.S. government came up with a solution to honor the unknown soldiers by constructing a memorial in Arlington National Cemetery in Virginia. Thus, this memorial became the final resting place for not only the unknown soldier, but also all the following military personnel who were never identified. This monument is built with a 3-level white marble tomb that carries intricate carvings of wreaths and figures, all of which represent victory, valor, and of course, peace. On one end of the tomb, the wordings, "Here rest in honored glory, an American soldier known but to God," are engraved, which goes apt for the memory of the unknown soldier. Now let us get into the topic of this video, why you shouldn't mess with a tomb guard. Well, for that, first, you need to understand how well trained they are. Anyone would get intimidated by their training ritual. A tomb that is guarded 24/7, 365. Imagine their level of determination for just doing that, regardless of the weather and other external factors. So let us dig deeper into knowing how these sentinels are selected. They are highly trained, and that is not something shocking. Despite the mundane job of just being ceremonial, still, the Army is always the best of the best to guard the honor of this unknown soldier's tomb. About less than 20% of the volunteers are selected, and among them, only a handful get to do this honorable job. Why do the highly skilled soldiers strive to become ceremonial tomb guards? Well, this is the third least awarded badge in the U.S. Army. Right after the astronaut badge and military horseman ID, this guard identification badge is so highly valued, so thus, this tug of war for one of the topmost honors. First, an old guard has to apply for the position of the tomb guard through the sergeant of the guard, and high motivation combined with high discipline could be a few of the factors that could help in getting shortlisted. Of course, strong military bearing with soldiery appearance play a major role because they are, after all, ceremonial tomb guards. Initially, before getting shortlisted, the prospective tomb guard would be selected to guard the tomb for an initial training period of 2 weeks. Once that is over, every trainee will be allotted a trainer who would further instruct them on what their expectations are to achieve this high honor. As you know, they are a part of the Army, so stringent rules automatically follow through, which must be followed to the point. Next comes the training guidelines, which will explain why they need to have a complete commitment and dedication to the tomb. The training that follows is extremely intense, which includes 5 exhaustive tests over a period of 6 to 12 months. The first test would be the training and testing in ceremonial performance. Then comes the uniform preparation, followed by the knowledge. When a prospective tomb guard passes all of these tests in flying colors, then they would be able to conduct 7 different types of ceremonies, which include the highest preparation of their uniform and also reciting 35 pages of information. If someone happens to fail, even in a single test, then they are assigned back to their army. But if miraculously they do happen to pass the test successfully, then they are awarded with the Tomb Guard Identification Badge and get the honorary title of Tomb Guard or Badge Holder. This title carries a huge responsibility too, as this is the only military badge that could be revoked immediately if any disrespect occurs to the tomb under the said tomb guard's watch. Now, what would happen if you messed with the tomb guard soldier? Well, they have one simple rule: behind the rails and chains at all times. If you couldn't keep up that simple rule, then you are in trouble for sure. They are strong, but also silent, unless, of course, you break one of their golden rules. Cross over the barrier into the plaza, and you'll probably hear this.
Remain behind the chains and rails!
Respect and silence is required at all times. If you're being loud, rude, and obnoxious, you'll likely get this response.
It is requested that everyone maintains a level of silence and respect.
If you were to get anywhere near the tomb, even if you want to take a personal selfie with the memorial, then you are sure to get yelled at with these words: "Remain behind the rails and chains at all times." Just imagine a scenario where the whole ambiance is calm and serene, and you get suddenly yelled at by the tomb guard who otherwise would have seemed like a moving robot. One other thing they hate is being loud and obnoxious, and those times you would hear, "Remain standing for this ceremony." Or if the whole audience is noisy, then you would hear this: "Whoever in question, they will have to maintain the silence and respect at all times." Do you find such behavior similar to someone else? Yes, if you had guessed it right. Aren't they very much similar to the Queen's Guards at Buckingham Palace? The Queen's Guard has strict training and stringent rules to follow, and hence ends up yelling at the disturbing spectators or the unaware audience who end up barricading their marching route. However, one thing that differentiates them from the tomb guard is that they have to stand still, and also the sentinels get to point their M14 rifles at the hooligans who are on purpose causing a disturbance and being disrespectful to the memory of the tomb. You might find all of these interesting, but if you get to hear a single day of a tomb guard's life, then you might just fall asleep hearing because it is monotonous and pretty boring. 3 tomb guards make up a squad, and just like the Army regulations, the tomb reliefs are based on the height order. Since this is purely ceremonial, the changing of the guard should be of the same height order as the ones present. The 24-hour rotating shift actually begins at 5 a.m. with the arrival of 1 tomb squad for duty. They have to prepare their uniform, review their orders, receive their duty assignments, and there is even a double check on their reviewing at around 6:30 a.m. Once their duties are fulfilled, the first tomb guard will be allowed to walk the first opening of the guard change at 7 a.m., which is called bolo in tomb guard lingo. Bolo is the tomb guard who starts and ends the guarding. So obviously, an evening bolo will be the one that ends the guard of the day. If you want to visit this ceremonial soldier, then you will get to visit them during the day when the tomb guards will perform several changing of guards and other such ceremonies, which will capture your eye because they are exactly like robots wearing military uniforms. During the summer, you will get to witness the changing of the guards every half hour, but during winter, it would only be every hour. Well, however, they may behave or look like a robot, but still, they are flesh and blood humans who can feel the cold of the winter and the hottest of the summer. You might have watched the moonwalk of the famous Michael Jackson, but have you ever watched a soldier do the moonwalk? You can, if you happen to visit Arlington Cemetery at Virginia, where the tomb guard would perform the midday noon moonwalk, which is the most coveted walk. During their day job, they also have to frequently perform the mirror time, conduct uniform preparation, study knowledge, check in wreaths, and above all, alert the tomb guards of the next changing of the guard. Well, let us finish off this mind-blowing video by breaking a couple of myths that surround this tomb guard. First of all, they do not have to stand guard 24/7, 365 literally. Their day starts at 5 a.m. and ends at 5 p.m. They do take turns guarding the tomb, but the outsiders are not allowed past 5 p.m. Also, they do have to stand guard when there is heavy rain, lightning, or storm. Extreme weather conditions are taken into consideration. Remember, they are humans. Also, they are not put underground in the barracks for 2 years with no access to TV, not allowed to swear, and not drink alcohol. Few myths even say such abstinence is required as long as they are the tomb guards. Of course, not true. They are allowed to go out on an occasional off-duty vice. Did you enjoy knowing the tomb guards? Aren't they as fascinating as the Queen's Guards? Who do you find more interesting? Let us know in the comments below. Leave a like if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel with notifications on to make sure you never miss out on future videos. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.